guys, and welcome back to my channel. So before we get into this video, let me introduce myself for those who are new to my channel. My name is Jasmine and I go by Pinup Couture with 2 E's at the end. So it is June, and June is National PTSD Awareness Month. So in honor of PTSD Awareness Month, I wanted to share with you guys my story and how I've been living with PTSD. So I wanted to do this video for quite some time now. This is going to be different than my normal shopping hauls or my thrifting videos, my monthly favorites, vlogs, anything of the sort. So for those who are not aware, PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder. When I was younger and I would hear PTSD, I automatically thought of like war vets and people who were, you know, in the military that came home but in a war. That was the first thing that popped into my head, like, oh, that's just for people who were in the Army or the Navy, Marines. That doesn't apply to everyday people. It wasn't until I became older and I had to do my own research on it that I learned that PTSD can happen to anybody. So Google defines PTSD as a disorder in which a person has difficulty recovering after experiencing or witnessing a traumatic event in their life. Some of the common symptoms of PTSD are depression, anxiety, avoiding activities, things that you used to enjoy doing. You're easily frightened, you have trouble concentrating. So I wanted to share my story with you guys. About how I've been able to get through this time, because it is kind of difficult for me. So me talking to you guys today, this is definitely something that is out of my comfort zone. You know, I'm letting my guard down and I don't know how people are going to react to it, so I'm a little nervous. So before I start, let me say this. The story I'm going to tell you guys on how I got to living with PTSD and what occurred and what happened to me. If you want to laugh at any time, I'm not going to get offended. If you want to put LOL in the comments, ha ha ha, smiley faces, because the story sounds crazy. It sounds like, what are you talking about, Jazz? So I'm not going to be offended. Like, I'm so glad I can laugh about it now. Like, when I tell people and tell my story about what happened, it's literally like I can laugh about it. It is funny. Everyone has laughed. So yeah, I won't be offended, I promise. So around this time 2 years ago, a friend of mine invited me on a boat ride, and it was just a normal Sunday. This was back in 2018. So we got on the boat and, you know, we had wine, we started drinking, and the music was playing. We were just enjoying our, you know, boat ride. The driver of the boat, which I did not know who he was, offered us weed cookies. So everyone on the boat was like, yeah, let me get one, let me try, let me have some. I was the only one that was like hesitant, like I don't smoke weed, I've never smoked weed, I never tried, like I'm not that type of person. And I was very hesitant about trying the weed cookie because, you know, I'm not a smoker. Like, I don't know what that feels like to be high. I've been drunk, but I don't know what high feels like. So at first I said no thank you. So something, I don't know why, something in my mind was like, Jazz, but you've never been high before, maybe you should try getting high today. Just eat the cookie, you don't have to smoke, you know, you can just take a bite of the cookie and you'll be high. So I told my friend, I'm like, hey, you know, I think let me try a piece. So I took a piece of the cookie, and, you know, I had a small, very, like, literally like a small amount. And then as I'm eating it, he was like, listen, don't eat anymore. So now another 40 minutes have passed by. I'm sitting, I'm relaxed, I'm just rocking on the boat. I feel absolutely nothing. Another friend of mine who I was on the boat with, she gave me this look, and she looked at me and she said, she texted me and she said, I'm scared. And so in my head, I'm like, I'm thinking she's joking. I'm like, what are you scared about? Like, what do you think's gonna happen? She's like, we don't even know him. Talking about the driver. I was like, what you think he's gonna do, kidnap us? And then I looked at her and her eyes were like red and it looked like she had been crying, but she had shades on. It was like, as soon as I saw her eyes were like red, and it could have just been she was high, right? But in my head, I immediately began to panic, and that's when I thought, oh snap, we don't even know this man. So then I started thinking, oh my goodness, what if he really is trying to kidnap all of us? What if he really is going to do something crazy to us? Or I don't know. So now I began to panic. But then I remember just saying, hey, how much longer do we have on the boat? And so the driver, he was like, oh, not much longer, maybe like 30 minutes. So I tried to calm down, but already it was in my head, like, I can't trust him. I don't know his motives. I don't know what he's trying to do. So in my head, I was like, Jazz, pay attention. He didn't eat any of his cookie. Why is that? Why didn't he have any of his his own stash. Like, who comes and brings liquor and doesn't drink, or who comes and brings their own weed and doesn't smoke the weed? And I'm like, but he didn't eat a cookie. Yeah, no, something's off. He's going to try to hurt us. So in my head now I have it going, he's bad, he's not good, he's going to hurt you, you have to get away from him. So I remember getting up and I'm like, I want to get off the boat. And now everybody's looking at me like, what is wrong with her? I'm like, no, don't touch me, I want to get off the boat. And so the driver's like, yo, chill, like, we're about to. I'm like, no. And now I'm freaking out. I'm like hyperventilating. I'm like, I gotta get off the boat. I start crying. My friends, they're trying to calm me down. The girl I was with, other friend I was with, she was like, Jazz, you have to calm down, you know, it's just the cookie, like, you have to just calm down, you're right. And in my head, although I'm hearing what they're saying, I start to think in myself, like, you know what, I don't know none of y'all like that. Like, you cool with them, but y'all not tight-knit friends years down the line. So what if all of them are in trying to get you? So that's what I told myself constantly in my head. Like, they're all trying to get you. They're going to do something bad to you, Jasmine. You have to get the boat. The only thing that crossed my mind was to call my mother. So then I called my mom, and I remember just crying. I'm like, Mom, I'm in Lake Norman. You got to come get me. And so the reason I called my mom was because something told me, if they're really trying to hurt you and they're really out to get you and do something bad to you, I would hate that they dump your body in the water and nobody knows where you're at. They never find you again, and your mother would never know what happened to you. So the only thing that I was saying to myself was, call your mom, because at least if something happens to you, she will know where you're at and she'll never have to worry about what happened to her daughter. I'm going to tell her the whole story. So I'm on the phone, I'm like, Mom, you got to come get me right now. I'm like panicking. She's like, where are you? I'm coming to get you right now. So then they take my phone, and I'm like, why did they take my phone? And like, you know, they're trying to tell me like what's going on. Like, she's just, you know, tripping out. You know, she's okay, but if you want to come, you can. We're about to get off the boat. So I'm still on the phone with my mother. I'm like, do not hang up. Don't hang up the phone on her. So as we're pulling up to the dock, I remember seeing this man, and he's like taking off his boat, like taking, you know, the strings to get his boat on the water. And I flip out. I don't know why I associated with that man that they are a part of, he knows what's going on and he sold me or something. Like, I don't know why I thought in my head it was that man knows what's going on with you. He knows that you are drugged and he's going to take you, sell your organs. That's why he's getting a boat ready. They're about to ship you off to some other foreign country. That's what my brain was telling me. So as soon as we pulled up on the dock, I started running. My friends, they were trying to run after me. I just would not go near them. The people, everybody that was outside, I just all thought they were part of the plan. Like, I didn't trust nobody. Like, I couldn't trust a stranger. I was like, you know, go run to a stranger. I'm like, no, you don't know them either. They're all part of it. Like, that's what my brain was telling me. Everybody on this little place we're at, they're all trying to get you. It wasn't until I saw my mother's car pull up, I just hopped in the car. Then my friends, they ran to the car and they was telling my mom, like, you know, she's gonna be okay. Just give her some milk, let her lay down. She just have to sleep it off. There's nothing really much you can do about it. Just let her sleep it off. So my mom thought it was funny at first. Like, everybody was like, listen, look what happened to Jasmine. Look, she want to take drugs, so look what happened to her. Now, yeah, that's what you get, right? It wasn't until I really was freaking and flipping out that everyone knew that, okay, this is not just a normal, she's just been high for the day. I don't know if you guys ever watched American Horror Story, but there was an episode with the witches that season, the Coven season, and it was a scene when, I forgot the girl's name, but when she went to hell, they were saying you do the same thing over and over and over again for the rest of your life. So while I was in the car, I thought I had died in the car, and I thought I had went to hell because I literally kept seeing us drive past the same exit over and over and over again. My mother kept saying the same thing. She kept turning around to me and saying, well, what did you learn? And what did you do? And why did you do it? I hope you learned your lesson. And what did you learn? And why did you do it? I hope you learned your, like, that's all I kept hearing. So now I'm in the back seat. I'm like, oh my gosh, I died. And now I'm saying this out loud. I'm like, I died. Wow, I'm in hell. Like, this is my hell. I'm going to be stuck here in a car seeing the same exit over. Everything was the same. Like, it was scary. It was like she was a robot. She kept turning. Guys, I'm not making this up. Like, it's crazy to even talk about this. Like, it sounds crazy, but It really happened. Then I remember it was a piece of like aluminum foil in the back seat, and I just remember grabbing it and like ripping it. Just kept ripping the pieces off, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna be stuck here forever, then I'm just gonna play with this aluminum foil. Like, there's nothing back here for me. Like, this is my hell. Like, I'm stuck in this back seat. Then my mother just grabs me, and I came back to the normal world. Like, I was back to the present time. Next thing I knew, we was at my apartment. So I remember putting my pajamas on, and then I got in my bed and I said, I can't sleep here. So my mother was like, do you want to go home with me? And I was like, yeah. So we get to my mom's house, and I get over there, do the same thing, put my pajamas on. I remember laying in the bed. I will never forget, this was the scariest moment of my entire life. I've never experienced anything like this. I remember laying in the bed. She was laying on my left side, and I remember the TV was on, and the TV was on Love and Hip Hop, and the lights were off. It was dark in the room, but the only thing that was shining was the TV. She was like, say your prayers, come on, let's say our prayers. And her face like started to switch. It was like it started to get like a witch figure, like her face started to do like a creepy clown like smile. And I just remember just looking at her, but still like praying, and like, God, just like, now let me down to sleep, pray the Lord. So then she was like, it's okay, lay down. So I laid down, and I remember closing my eyes and feeling so like at peace and comfortable. 2 seconds later, I will never forget, I swear, I heard this voice, this squeaky, sinister voice, and it said, so, just like that. And I felt something next to me like rise up, and like everything in the room went dark. The TV started scattering, like, and the figure like came next to me, like, and it was a devil figure. And so I just popped up like immediately, like, and so my mother was like, what? I said, don't touch me. And she was like, what, Nene? And I was like, no, Ma, don't touch me. I was like, I gotta get away from you. I don't know you. You're the devil. I can't trust you. Like, I just remember just being like, I can't be around you. Don't touch me. Leave me alone. I turned all the lights on. And in that moment, what my brain was telling me was, you was about to die that night. You felt so peaceful thinking your life is good, and yeah, you're about to lay down and just go to sleep. But no, the devil was about to take your soul, and he was coming to you. And that's why he said so like that, telling you like, you have failed, and now I'm taking your soul to come. Like, that was this scary, just even thinking about it. Like, I get like, and I know it's probably funny to people, but like, no, I just thinking about it, like, oh my gosh, I'm just, my skin, yeah. So now in my head, it was telling me, you have to figure out why this happened to you. And I just kept saying that, like, to my mom, like, I have to figure out why this happened. I have to figure out what I did, why it happened, what's going on, why. So it's probably now like 1 o'clock in the morning, 12, maybe like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. I go downstairs, sit in front of the steps, and I'm just sitting against the wall, pressed, and I have my knees to my chest, and I'm just like holding myself, like rocking. Ignore my sweatpants. And I'm just rocking, and I'm like, I have to figure it out. I have to figure out what happened to me, what happened to me, why I'm here. And I just kept mumbling. And my mother said the whole night, I just was mumbling, like, why happened to me, why I figured, like, constantly. I would not stop talking. My eyes, I would not go to sleep. So now it probably was like maybe 4 o'clock in the morning, and my mother was like, Jasmine, just try laying down, just try coming to go to sleep. Now I'm in her room. I decided to try and lay down in her bed, and my stepdad was there. He actually left and went downstairs and was like, I'll leave, I'll leave the room, so try to be, let her be in there with you. And I trusted him. Like, in my head, he was an angel. I don't know why I thought this. My stepdad was the good guy. He was the angel. My mom was the devil. So I remember going in her bed. She left the room for a second, I think, to grab, I don't even know what she went to go grab. I remember the room just started getting really, really hot, and the hallway started to turn red. So immediately as she was coming back, it was like she was charging at me. And so I got up. I was like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go away from you. No, don't touch me. Leave me. Leave. I was like, get away from me. Get away from me. I just kept screaming. And so I went right back down the steps, sat in my little corner, and was just rocking back and forth. Finally, she gave up. My mother was like, I'm going to sleep. She just was like, I guess I gotta let her be. So now the sun starts to come up, and that's when I start to calm down, because now I'm like, okay, it's morning time. I can see the sun. I'm alive, I'm awake, I'm not dying, I'm not going to die today, at least not tonight. You know, I've made it through today. Now it's the next morning, my mother comes down the steps, I'm still sitting in the same spot, I haven't slept. I remember having to use the bathroom so badly, but I was just holding my pee the whole entire night. I think the last time I actually went to the bathroom was right before I had went on the boat, so it's literally going on a full almost 24 hours since I used the bathroom. I remember saying I have to use the bathroom, and my mother was like, well, go use the bathroom. I said I can't because I don't trust you, and it's only us in this house, and I don't want to trust you. I can't trust you. I can't get away from you. I can't trust you. You're not safe. So I just remember kept saying that to her. Then my grandmother came over, and for some reason I trusted my grandmother. I hugged her. She was like, it's okay. I thought she was an angel. In my head, I was like, she's an angel. She's good. She's going to help you. So as I'm telling this story to you guys, I want you to understand kind of what was going on in my head. I thought that I was dying, or I was about to have my soul taken by the devil. And so I had to figure out why it was happening to me before he took my soul, if that makes sense. It was like God was putting me through a test to say, hey, you have, every time it becomes nighttime, he's gonna come back and get you if you don't get your life together. That's what was going on in my head. So the angels, seeing as my grandmother's an angel, I thought my mom was the devil. That's where that kind of comes into play. So I remember going in the bathroom with my grandmother. She walked me to the door. I remember going into the bathroom, taking my pants off, sitting on the toilet. I was about to use the bathroom, and I got scared. I remember just the door was wide open. I didn't want them to close the door on me. I didn't want to be trapped. I felt like if they closed the door, something was going to happen. I was going to be trapped in there. So the door was open, and I just got up, put my pants back on, said, I can't do it. I'm scared. I don't trust y'all. I can't do it. I was just freaking out. Now it's literally the next day, maybe mid-afternoon, so maybe about like 12, 1 o'clock. My mother was like, I think we should call the ambulance because she's not coming down from whatever she's on. So then the ambulance, they wound up coming over. I want to say it was about maybe 2, 3 o'clock. When the ambulance got there, I fought the ambulance. They started talking to me, and I remember just trying to like get away from them. Like, I don't trust y'all. I don't know what this is. Maybe they're bad, they're good. I couldn't figure out if they were good people, they were bad people in my head. So they started to try to walk me out the door. I was trying to kind of be calm, and it wasn't until I saw the truck outside that I started flipping out, and I just started fighting. I remember just grabbing everybody, just trying to scratch my way. It was horrible. So I remember Maka, my grandmother, Maka, she got in the ambulance car with me. She was just holding my hand, and she was telling me, it's gonna be okay, Jazz, it's okay, you have to calm down, it's gonna be all right, it's gonna be okay. A part of me was still there. It was like, I hear her, I hear what she's saying, but I don't know this man, I don't know this paramedic. So what if this is a trap again? Like, everything I thought was going to be a trap that was going to lead to me dying. I remember going in the hospital. They were trying to do a CAT scan, and I fought the lady, the nurse, and then they just they had to sedate me, and I woke up the next morning, and I was in a hospital room with my dad, my mom, my grandmother. Everybody was around me and just waiting for me to wake up. So yeah, that is the story about what happened on my boat incident. So the next morning, I kind of felt okay in a sense. Like, I thought I was fine. I was like, I'm in the hospital. There's like, you can go home, just try to get some rest. I go home, and now it's like the evening time, and I'm terrified to go to sleep again. Couldn't go to sleep. I started to have an episode, like I was calling them episodes, where I kept feeling like the same thing was happening. I was about to die again if I go to sleep. So those are my little episodes I would have. And that lasted a good, probably a week and a half. I would have just episodes every night where I was scared to go to sleep. I remember my friends were coming over to see me, and I was nervous. When they got around me, they can tell like I was shaking a little bit. I felt like I didn't know if they were real. I was trying to figure out, like, am I awake? Or am I dreaming? Is this real life? It was just like that in-between stage, almost like Inception. If you ever watched the movie Inception, you had to have like something to twirl to make sure you were alive. Like, that's what was happening. That's what it felt like. I just had to keep telling myself, like, you're awake, Jazz, it's okay, you're alive, like, this is real life, nobody's coming to get you. And so yeah, that lasted a while. And so yeah, that is pretty much what happened and what has caused me to be in the position I am today with living with PTSD. So I want to say, like, today I am so proud of myself and how far I have come from that night. Like I said, I was going through episodes every night. Then it was a couple of days during the week. Then it was once a week. Then it was, you know, once a month. And it just slowly started to slow down. The last episode I had was December 30th, 2020. I was about to launch my melanin box, and I wanted to launch it December 31st. I went to sleep. I had a dream, and I heard that same sinister, creepy devil voice, and I woke up frightened. And I remember running down the steps. My boyfriend was like, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" And I was like, "Just turn all the lights on." And he was like, "Do you want to talk about it?" And I was like, "No, I don't want to talk about it. We'll talk about it tomorrow." Because anytime I have a bad dream, I don't want to talk about it right then and there, because I feel like it's gonna make me even more anxious and scared. So I'm like, let's talk about it tomorrow. And I remember looking at him and looking around the house, and I kept telling myself, is this real? Like, am I alive? Like, what's going on? Then he tried to hug me, and I was like, don't touch me. Like, I felt scared. I felt like if he was gonna hug me, he was gonna suffocate me, try to take me again, bring me back to trying to take my soul. So I just freaked out. So anytime I have those episodes, I really have to just sit and just calm myself down and pray about it. It definitely has taken me a while to be where I am today, living with PTSD. I would say I'm doing much better than where I was when it first happened, that first night. Oh my goodness. I still have my moments where I have like these little mini panic attacks. There's times where I don't want to go certain places because I'm afraid something's going to happen to me. Like, I'm always on edge. Even if it's going food shopping, sometimes I get nervous being in a parking lot. I'm always looking around, like behind me. I just always think maybe somebody's gonna push me in my trunk or something. I get scared to drive sometimes, like especially if I get lost. If the GPS reroutes one time, my hands start sweating. I automatically get nervous because I'm thinking, why is the GPS rerouting? What did I do wrong? Did I make the wrong turn? What's going on? I start to think, oh my gosh, this is a trap again. So I have to calm myself down and just relax. Flying, I don't know what it is. I've never been afraid of flying before. Like, I've always had like a little fear of flying, but now my fear of flying has intensified so much since that day on the boat. I guess it's just a fear of not being in control. Being a passenger in someone's car, I get really nervous. I used to be able to sleep on road trips. I would be knocked out. Now I have to stay up the whole ride. I have to see everything, what's going on. I'm afraid to go to sleep. There are some nights when I am terrified to go to sleep at night. So I used to be the type of person that would sleep in pitch darkness. I mean, like the smallest little light on the TV would irk me. I would throw a shirt over it, something to cover it. Now, since that incident, I had to sleep with all the lights on. Like, every light in my room had to be on. The TV had to be on. I had to have background noise. Then I started to turn the lights off, and maybe it was just one light that would be on and the TV. Then as time went on, it was, okay, all the lights can be off and I just need the TV. Now it is just the TV is on. There's no lights. I can be in the darkness, but I still need the TV on. I constantly live in fear. I always think something bad is going to happen to me. A lot of people, they probably don't know because I'm so happy. I'm usually bubbly 90% of the time, but I'm scared. So I'm working on becoming less anxious. I noticed since the boat incident, I started to struggle with anxiety. And I think everybody has a little bit of anxiety, but some people have it more severely than others. You know, there's good anxiety and there's bad anxiety. So for me, my anxiety comes from like feeling on edge and being afraid, like I said, going into supermarkets or something. So I'm dealing and learning how to kind of calm myself down and coming up with ways to tell myself, it's okay, Jazz, you are all right, you're alive, nothing's bad gonna happen to you. Don't put that in the universe. And just really learning how to shift my mindset, because I think that's all it is to it. It's really just mind over matter, and it's a mental thing. It's really just telling yourself, filling your mind up with positive thoughts, and nothing can get in your way if you do that. So living with PTSD has been a journey for me. You know, I'm not the same Jasmine I was back in 2016, 2017, before 2018, the boat incident happened. I've definitely changed since then. I was a little bit more carefree back then. I used to think, oh, nothing, not saying nothing bad can happen to me, but more of like, what are the chances of this happening to you? And now I'm like, oh my gosh, the chances are high. Like, it can really happen to you. I noticed me not wanting to go out as much as I used to, or if I do go out, I'm very more so aware of where I'm going, who's going to be around, what we're doing, what are the risk factors if we go out. It's just stuff like that. I think anyone living with PTSD would tell you that it's not easy, but it gets easier over time. The more you learn about yourself and you try to focus on the positive, and just learning how to really switch your mind frame to positive thoughts and positive energy, and really focus on the good instead of focusing your energy and so much time on what if and what could and the bad of it. So yeah, I'm still learning. I still have my days. I cannot say I don't have bad moments. I can't say I don't have bad days, because I do. I can't say I'm 100% over it, because I'm not. I never regretted anything in my life, but that day on the boat, I honestly can say I wish that was one day I would have just stayed home. Or I wish I just wouldn't have ate that cookie. That's pretty much it. Just don't eat the cookie. I honestly believe everything happens for a reason. I truly believe that God will put you through obstacles for your own good. He's trying to show you things in your life that is supposed to, everything that has happened to you is supposed to happen to you. 100%. So for whatever reason, God said, listen, Jazz, you're going to see. You're going to learn. Like, you're going to learn today. I think what he was trying to tell me was to sit down, to slow down, that you don't have to be out every single weekend, because I was just partying, living my life, living la vida loca. I think I was having the time of my life. And yeah, I think he was trying to say, I'm gonna show you. You're just going too fast. This is not the life for you. So I know this video was a lot longer than my normal videos. I didn't want to try to talk too much, but it's a lot to, you know, kind of digest and talk about. Like I said earlier, this was something new for me. I've never done a chit chat talk about something like so personal and so, you know, so close to my heart, and it's a sensitive subject for some people. So be nice in the comments. I hope this video is able to help anyone else who is struggling with PTSD, and just know that it gets better over time. A lot of people go through it, and you will be fine. You just have to learn ways to get through it, and know that you're here for a reason, and it's gonna get better. So that's pretty much my story. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So if anyone has any questions, go ahead, do not hesitate, leave them in the comments. If you want to laugh, like I said earlier, you can go ahead and laugh at LOL with smiley faces. I will not be offended. I know the story sounds crazy, so it is okay. I already laughed at myself. Yes, it sounds crazy. As always, you guys, don't forget to please like and subscribe to my channel if you are not already subscribed, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Pinup Couture with 2 E's at the end. But like always, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.